Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem, and we ask you to join with us in singing it. Please be seated. Well, good afternoon. My name is David Watts. I have the privilege of serving as president of the University of Texas in the Permian Basin. And on behalf of the entire University of Texas Permian Basin family, it's my honor and privilege to welcome you to this spring 2017 commencement ceremony honoring this semester's graduates. Graduates, we are delighted to have you here with all of your friends and family. Now, I know there's some small children in the audience, and if they're like my kids, they may make an occasional noise or two. It's all right. We'll live through it. More importantly, they'll register at UTPB in about 15 years. We're also live streaming this graduation ceremony on YouTube. You can reach it by youtube.com/UTPB, or simply go on our webpage, click the graduation link, and follow the directions, and you will get there. We do live streaming for a number of reasons. We want to respect the fact that so many of our students come from all over the world and all over the country and just simply can't find it possible to come to Odessa to attend the commencement ceremonies. We welcome those, of course, who are able to do so. But we want them to be able to participate in the life of the university, certainly through the streaming of our graduation ceremonies. Please join me in thanking members of the university staff for all they do to make this kind of ceremony possible. A lot of folks put in their Saturday, spending it with us, making sure the stage is set up properly, that the lobby is available for your use. The nurse is available for when I have my heart attack. Just a whole host of people make today's ceremony possible. And I want you to join with me in particularly thanking graduates, the faculty who are with me today on stage. Graduates know what an important role the faculty play in getting you ready to this stage in your lives. Please join me in thanking the faculty. Also today we have some special guests with us that I'd like to acknowledge. Mr. Mark Nicholas. Mark, would you stand? Mark is a development board member, longtime supporter, financial supporter of our athletic program, and a generous supporter of other activities here at the university. Thank you, Mark, for being with us. Seated just behind Mark is Vicki Gomez. Vicki was here. Vicki, would you stand, please? If you can. There she is. Vicki was here when the university opened. She was only 12 years old, working in the administrative functions of the university. She's risen through the ranks, retired as director of admissions, and just couldn't get enough, and comes back and works with us on a part-time basis. Thank you, Vicki, for being here. Dr. Ann Ackerman, Ann, would you stand, please? Ann is a member of our development board. We're particularly proud of Ann Ackerman for so many things, but one of which is she is a UTPB alum. And she is the right kind of doctor. She practices medicine in Odessa and is a generous and strong supporter of UTPB. Thank you, Ann, for joining us today. Finally, I'm not sure where he is in the audience, but Mr. Larry Lee. Larry, where are you? Stand, wave, yell at me. Back in the back, there he is. Thank you for being with us today. I know you're here for a special reason, but Larry is a supporter of the university, a friend, and we're very delighted that he's here with us today. Now I'd like to introduce the front row of the stage. Please hold your applause until all are introduced. Dr. James Eldridge, President of the Faculty Senate and Professor of Kinesiology. Mr. Brian Schroeder, an alumnus of UTPB and Assistant Controller at the Sewell Family of Companies. Dr. Bill Price, Dean of the College of Business and Engineering. Dr. Roy Hurst, Interim Dean of the College of Education. Dr. Dorothy Jackson, Dean of the College of Nursing. Mr. Mark McGurk, Vice President for Business Affairs. Dr. Daniel Heimerman, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. Dr. Sandra K. Woodley, President-Designate of the University of Texas of the Permian Basin, who will also be our speaker today. Dr. Julie Rathiel Burnett, Associate VP of Research and Dean of Graduate Studies. Ms. Teresa Sewell, Senior Associate Vice President for Student Services. Dr. Michael Zavada, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Bill Harlow, Dean of Undergraduate Student Success. Dr. Todd Richardson, Associate Professor of English and member of the Graduate Council. And stepping out from the wings of the stage is Mr. Joe Sanders, Registrar, who will be, graduates, most importantly, reading your names as you cross the stage today. Let me tell you just a little bit about a wonderful award that the University of Texas Board of Regents gives to only the very best teachers in the entire University of Texas system. There are over 288,000 students who attend University of Texas institutions, so you can imagine that when you win a Regents Teaching Award, you're really winning something special. In addition to a very handsome medal that our winners receive, they also receive $25,000 as an honorarium for their extraordinary teaching. So join me in acknowledging those winners, and while all of them may not be with us this afternoon, I'd like you to know of all of them. 2016, Dr. Rachel Harlow, Assistant Professor in Communication. 2015, Mr. Michael Crane, Lecturer in Management and Director of the Roden Center for Entrepreneurship. 2014, Mr. Clark Moreland, Lecturer in English. Dr. Don Allen, Professor of Biology. and Dr. Tracy Gibson, also professor in biology, who's no longer with us. 2012, Dr. Jim Olson, professor of psychology. Dr. Chris Hyatt, associate professor of mathematics. Ms. Diana Younger, lecturer in psychology. Dr. Sophia Andres, professor of English. And Dr. Andres is also a member of the UT Teaching Academy, really the most prestigious membership available in the UT system. Dr. William Harlow, associate professor and dean of undergraduate studies. Ms. Lorraine Spickerman, lecturer in education. The 2009, the very first award winner, was Dr. Douglas Hale, who was then professor of mathematics. Dr. Hale has since retired and is an emeritus professor of UTPB. It's now my privilege to introduce to you Dr. Sandra K. Woodley, President Designate for the University of Texas of the Permian Basin. Dr. Woodley and I have known each other off and on for a number of decades. Our paths first crossed in Alabama. I was at one time Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs at Jacksonville State University in Alabama. Dr. Woodley grew up in that area of the country, northeastern Alabama, and she's going to tell you a bit about how she went on to earn her degree. We first met when she was on the staff of the Alabama Commission on Higher Education, the equivalent of the Texas Coordinating Board, where she helped universities design and develop degree programs and overall just improve what they did. So we knew one another there. She went on to Kentucky, became associated with the staff of the University of Kentucky Board of Regents, went to the University of Arizona, also working with the Board of Regents, then the University of Texas system, where she became Vice Chancellor for Strategic Initiatives in the University of Texas system, served there for a number of years, and she was attracted away to Louisiana, where she was president of the University of Louisiana system, where she supervised and led 9 universities, very much like UTPB. I spent time in Louisiana in an earlier part of my career, and if you've ever lived there, you know what I'm talking about when I say that it's a tumultuous political environment. Dr. Woodley left after election of a governor and became a senior associate with the American Association of State Colleges and Universities, and simultaneously she works at Kentucky State University, where she's providing advice and assistance to that institution. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Sandra K. Woodley.
I think we need a round of applause for the commitment that Dr. Watts and Denise Watts has given to this university and this community. So I'm not your quintessential president material, as you might say. I certainly took a different path than most college presidents. I got married when I was 18 years old, and pretty soon thereafter I found myself with 2 small children, too many bills, and not enough paycheck. It didn't take me long to recognize that I really wanted something different for myself. Like many of the graduates here today, I wanted something different for my family, and instinctively I knew that the only way that I could accomplish that was to find some way to graduate from college. Now, I had more than a few obstacles in my way. The first obstacle was money, and I think more accurately I'll say lack of it. It was very difficult to have the money to go to college. I was working full-time. I had 2 small children. We had rent. We had diapers, we had formula. Sometimes the transmission would go out in the car. It was difficult to find my way. Fortunately for me, Pell Grants and student loans were there to help me complete college. I may be one of the few great-grandmothers in a few decades from now still paying all my student loans, however. And that's a true story. The second obstacle for me was time. It was very difficult to find the time to study. Again, as I mentioned, I was working full-time. I had two wonderful, very rambunctious children to take care of. And so I would go to class at night after work, at least 3 nights a week, probably for about 4 hours each night. And on the nights that I didn't have class, I would come home and put those kids to bed, and then I would head to the local Shoney's. Now, for me, Shoney's was a little bit like Cheers. Everybody knew my name at the Shoney's, and they saved the back booth for me where I would spread out all of my notes and my books, and I would study. I would close them down at 2 a.m. Around midnight, the manager, who became a very close friend of mine, would send over a piece of that famous strawberry Shoney's pie just to get me through that midnight studying stretch. But I think the biggest obstacle for me was that I was not prepared to be a college student. I didn't plan to go to college. No one in my family had ever graduated from college. And so that was back in the olden days when there was not Common Core requirements, when you weren't required to take a certain number of courses to prepare for college, and so I didn't. Well, I started in the community college, and I really was quite proud of myself. Maybe it was all of that coffee and Shoney's pie, but I had a straight 4.0 GPA rolling through my first couple of years, and then came algebra. Now, I saved it till last because I knew I was bad at math, but somehow, this, extra courage, I thought, I should be able to handle this. But I remember very clearly sitting in that class of 50 in college algebra when I received my first test. My pulse quickened. The test was put in front of me, and there in bright red crimson letters was 62F. I failed the test. I was devastated. I sat there in that class with hot, embarrassing tears just streaming down my face. I was embarrassed. I was dejected. I left that and went to Professor Davis's office. Now, Professor Davis, how many in the audience remember Paper Chase? I'm dating myself here, maybe a few of you. She was a little bit like Dr. Kingsfield. She was a no-nonsense, all-business kind of woman. She was very short. She had white hair and these really thick black horn-rimmed glasses. She was not exactly known for her warmth. She was a great algebra teacher. So there I sat across from her in my desk, and I'm clutching this failed algebra test, and I am just sobbing inconsolably. And I said to her, I don't know what I was thinking. I really can't do this. I thought I could do it. Obviously, I'm not able to complete college. I thought I could do it. And I said to her, I'm not smart enough. And so she looked at me over those horn-rimmed glasses, and she said very gruffly, give me your test. So I handed my test over. She took out that red Sharpie. She rolled her eyes dramatically, and she marked out the F, and she put a D. She slid it back. And I kind of looked at her, and for a moment, I know it's irrational. It's really not even explainable that it was so comforting to me that that same 62 now had a D beside it instead of an F. And she said to me, you can do this. And then the next thing that Professor Davis said to me would literally change the course of my future. She said to me, "You are smart enough." She said, "You are smart enough." Now, when you think about that one moment in the grand scheme of someone's life, she probably didn't even remember that 2 minutes after she walked out the door. You know, she had hundreds of students that she taught every single semester, students like me who were clutching plenty of failed algebra tests, I'm sure. But that small act of kindness, 30 years later, I remember every moment. And as I think back and I reflect over this small piece of my own personal history that I'm sharing with you today, I think for the graduates who are here, I think there are some takeaways that could be important here. And one of them is this: these small acts of kindness, as you go through your life and your career, be aware of opportunities to provide kindness and encouragement to others who may be having a really bad day. Well, I left that office and I became very determined. I had a lot of irrational exuberance, irrational confidence. I can do this. I think I can pass algebra. And so I went to the computer lab, because back in the olden days, that's what you had to do when you were doing tutorials in math. You didn't have them on your iPhone. So I went to the computer lab, and I sat in the lab, and there was a computer about the size of this lectern, and I did tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. In fact, I learned for the first time in my life that a negative times a negative is a positive. Now, who are the math and engineering faculty? Would you please stand up? Come on. That makes no sense. You should be ashamed of yourself. But I did learn that a negative times a negative was a positive, and I would go on to study hard enough to pull that F up to a C+. That would be the only C that I would ever make in my college studies, and I'm prouder of that C than all of the many A's that would come after it. I mean, how is it possible that this, kid who needed remedial math was able to become the chief financial officer in 3 major university systems? How is it possible that struggling young mother who took 10 years to get her undergraduate degree would have the privilege to stand here today and become your next president? And as you think about it, as you go forward in your life, remember that there are a lot of really smart people out there. I've been in higher education for a long time, and I've come across a lot of people with very high IQs, with impressive resumes, degrees from Ivy League institutions. And that's all fine and good. But to the graduates and to those of you in the audience, I would say today that that's not sufficient to be successful, and it isn't necessary. The small acts of kindness and the determination that trumps almost everything else is what you need to be successful in your life. And to the graduates of the 2017 University of Texas of the Permian Basin, congratulations and go Falcons.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found that inspirational. I know I did. It is common to give a commencement speaker a memento of the occasion, and today is no exception. But since Dr. Woodley is going to be our next president, I thought it might be more appropriate that we give her something that she'll be able to use as president. So, ladies and gentlemen, well, it's all not going to be just fun and games, football games. It's also going to be a lot of hard work, And so we have this wonderful University of Texas of the Permian Basin portfolio for Dr. Woodley, so she can keep track of all the activities that she'll be engaged in. And we had 2 other commencement ceremonies today, and that's the 3rd time I've given her the same things. This time she gets to keep them. It's now my privilege and pleasure to introduce our University Choir, accompanied by the Falcon Wind Band and University Philharmonic. They will present for our enjoyment Battle Hymn of the Republic, and it will be conducted by Jeb Harris, a spring 2017 graduate of UTPB. Thank you so much, members of the University Choir, the University Philharmonic, and the Falcon Wind Band. Aren't they really good? Yeah? Well, graduates, now's the time for Dr. Daniel Heimerman, Provost and Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, to present the candidates for graduate and undergraduate degrees.
Good afternoon. Before I present the graduates, I'd like to recognize two very special groups of students. First of all, I'd like to describe Latin honors. You may notice that many of the candidates for graduation are wearing a UTPB orange stole. These students are receiving Latin honors. Latin honors are a long-standing tradition of the Academy for recognizing outstanding achievement in one's coursework. As the graduates are called to walk across the stage to receive their diploma, you will hear three levels of honor being announced. They are cum laude, with praise. These students have a grade point average of between 3.5 and 3.79 out of a possible 4.0. Magna cum laude, with great praise. These students have a grade point average of between 3.8 and 3.89. Summa cum laude, with highest praise. These students have a grade point average of 3.9 or higher. Would everyone please join me in congratulating the recipients of Latin honors? Veterans. We are also proud to recognize veterans who are graduating. Our graduating veterans wear the patriotic honor cords. These red, white, and blue cords symbolize the commitment and selfless service of our military. Will the graduating veterans please stand and be recognized? And now to the presentation of our candidates. Undergraduate candidates. Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, and Bachelor of Science in Petroleum Engineering, please stand and remain standing. President Watts, it is my pleasure to present to you on behalf of the faculty of the University of Texas of the Permian Basin these candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, and Bachelor of Science in Petroleum Engineering. Graduate candidates. Will the candidates for the degrees Masters of Business Administration and Master of Professional Accountancy please stand and remain standing? President Watts, it is my pleasure to present to you on behalf of the faculty of the University of Texas of the Permian Basin these candidates for the degrees of Master of Business Administration and Master of Professional Accountancy.
On the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of Texas System, It now confer upon each of you the respective academic degree for which you have been recommended, with all rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations appertaining thereunto. And I offer my sincere congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, our graduates. If all of the graduates, except those on the front row, could now be seated. The front row, if you'll proceed to the stage, is directed by the student marshals.
Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences, David Madison Beck, Jr. Marco Antonio Garcia. Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in accounting, William Michael Adams, magna cum laude. Daniel Enrique Andrade, cum laude. Gabriela Modesta Baltazar, magna cum laude. Chelsea Aaron Battaglia. John Michael Fields. Evelyn Garcia. Weston Todd Jordan. Diane Michelle Machik, cum laude. Bertha Gardea Mendoza. Elisa Naomi Sainz, cum laude. Eric David Vitale. Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in Finance, Raul Alberto Corrales. Kashyap Shrestha, cum laude. Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in Management, Randolph Lee Beckett, cum laude. Deborah Jael Bernal. Gareth Wayne Brewer. John Patrick Brown. Christopher Cano. Valerie Ann Caesar. Kinsey Danielle Compton. Marco Corral Hernandez. Kelsey Lynn Crossan. Crystal Ariel Gaitan. Gerald August Harrell. Elicio Hernandez Jr. Juan Alberto Hinojosa, magna cum laude. Corey Michael Jennings, summa cum laude. Jerry Lynn Jones. Charles Kazingwa. Dustin Jean Lee. Daniela Corina Pacheco. Liliana Maria Pena. Antonio Nicholas Salinas. Aiden Saunders. Travis Scott Sider. Caio Silva Aguiar, magna cum laude. Priscilla Sotelo Cardenas. Ryan Carl Souza. Okay. Jonathan Lugai Stiles. Mirla Isela Soares. Viridiana Taran. Randall Toribio. Morgan. Haley Morgan Wright, cum laude. Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in marketing, Norma Elizabeth Alonso. Catherine Danae Braden, cum laude. Asia Christian. Jacob Ronald DeFrance. Jasmine Sotelo Espinoza. Jonathan Hayden Jordan, cum laude. Laura Anna Lazcano. Araceli Lechuga. Adrian Matthew Pena. Jason Dean Sanders. Bachelor of Science with a major in Industrial Technology, Patricia Navarrete Baeza. Brandy T. Torres. Bachelor of Science with a major in Mechanical Engineering, Oscar Armando Aguilar. Kristen Ann Beck. Geneva Anik Belimu. Michael Ray Bersosa. Jeremy Ryan Floyd. Bruce Adrian Corona Romo. Joshua Adrian Espinoza. Gustavo Alfonso Fernandez. Isaac F. Flores, cum laude. Agates Gonzalez. Jose Alfredo Gonzalez. Arnaud Richard Greno Quate. Matthew Hunter Maverick Hansen, cum laude. Frank Mijares Jr. Anthony Herrera Morales. Christopher Mark Newman. Cade Adams Parkinson. Danny Romero. Eric Donald Stitzel, summa cum laude. Darren Michael Thompson. Emmanuel Villegas. Clayton Bishop Walker, summa cum laude. Brittany Nicole Weber. Landon Ty Whedon, also in the University Honors Program. John Weeby, cum laude. Alfonso Zubiate. Bachelor of Science with a major in Petroleum Engineering. Macy Amanda Ayala. Delcio Jose Falcon Bento. Shrey Bakta. Julian V. Carrasco, cum laude. Matthew Ryan Chavez. Sydney Michaela Crosser. Robert Elliott Galvan. Justin Allen Garrett. Mikan Hanov. Justin Lee Hayden. Tommy Hoagland. Richard John Kasanga. Victoria E. Kuzmich. Ray Imbohm. Carlos Alberto Mendoza. Sylvain Keisha Indoono. Tuluwalusi Aduya. Ricardo Rico. Jesus Alberto Ruiz. Aaron Ivan Villanueva. Wilson Wistichoke. Alfredo F. Zavala.
Will the undergraduate degree recipients please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, there's one more symbolic act for these baccalaureate degree recipients. They get to move their tassels from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations one more time. You may be seated. And I believe our master's degree recipients are all lined up and ready to go.
Master of Business Administration, Marinthia Alvarado. Justin William Bryant. Richard Lee Crawford. Kristen Sonderak Cummings. Rachel Ann Duhon. Christian Leland Estep. Jason Farnsworth. James Ashton Julius Greer. Mark Joseph Hellig. Dalia Marquez Hemphill. Michelle Lee Joyner. Michael James Compass II. Karen Lopez. Courtney Elaine Marquez. Sonny Knock. Amy T. Wynn. Brittany Sheridan O'Neill. Sandra Ortega. Jocelyn Danielle Pittman. Erica Lectawa Ramirez. Ashley Rodriguez. Vanessa Elizabeth Rodriguez. Stephen Matthew Ruiz. Master of Professional Accountancy, Gerald Mark Adkins. Also receiving his bachelor's in accounting. Stephen Andrew Chifo. Angie Bernice Favela. Wei Yu.
All right, graduates, as you know, it takes a town, a city, a village, a group of friends to get to where you are today. Many of those friends and family are with us today. I invite you to stand and thank your family members for all that they've done to help you get where you are today. You're now alumni of the university. Please be seated. You're now alumni of the university. Alumni such as you have worked closely to build and maintain an excellent faculty, a well-equipped physical plant, and to create a highly motivated student body. All of the elements to make a respected university of which we can all be proud. Much of the work in support of the university on behalf of the alumni is done by the Falcon Alumni Network. Today, welcoming you is Brian Schroeder. Brian is the Assistant Controller with the Sewell family of companies. He earned his bachelor's, then his master's in professional accountancy from UTPB in 2009 and 2012, respectively. While attending UTPB, Brian was a member of the Falcon swim team from 2006 to 2010, became co-captain in his junior and senior year. He currently participates in organizations such as the Young Professionals of Odessa and the Bridge Methodist Church. During his free time, Brian enjoys playing ultimate frisbee, spending time with his wife and two utterly adorable sons. Please join me in welcoming Brian Schroeder.
Good afternoon, graduates. You've made it, but this is just the beginning. First, I would like to thank Dr. Watts for his service to the university and community. This university wouldn't be what it is today without his help. I also want to welcome Dr. Woodley. I look forward to seeing the school continue to grow with your leadership. Graduates, I want to congratulate each and every one of you, and I hope you give me the chance to. I'm a member of the Falcon Alumni Network, otherwise known as FAN. We are a growing group of alumni that want to network with you as well as find ways to contribute back to the university. There is no amount too small to give back, whether it is financially or of your time. For example, every year Falcon alumni swimmers put together a dinner for the swimmers while they're training during the holidays. And if you've ever had to feed a group of athletes, you need to multiply that food by 3, and then you might have enough. If you're interested in joining, I would love to talk with you after the ceremony, or you can look us up on Facebook. I'm so proud of what my friends and I have been able to accomplish with an education that started here at UTPB. But this was just the beginning. Now, you and the people around you have worked very hard to get to this point, and this is a great accomplishment. But like I said, this is only the beginning. Where will you go from here? What will you do? What got you here today will not get you there, and your past successes will only get you through your first door. You must keep striving to learn more, do more to achieve your goals. By walking the stage, you have shown the world and this community that you have the ability to make that happen. Every single one of you are capable of doing great things. Never underestimate yourself. You are smart, you are strong, you are and will forever be UTPB Falcons. Falcon Pride.
Well, we're about to conclude our commencement ceremony, but I would be remiss if I didn't share with you the stories of some of our graduates. And in this ceremony, I'm going to select one individual. Very much like the story that you heard from Dr. Woodley, although every story has its variations. I'd like Dustin Lee to stand, please. Dustin. Dustin, as you know, is a BBA graduate with a major in management, but how shall I put it? It didn't take him 4 years to get there. How many years was it, Dustin? 12 years. Talk about perseverance, determination. Dustin is the son of Larry Lee, and his family are 3-generation graduates of UT Permian Basin. 3-generation graduates. Dustin is the 3rd generation. Dustin plans to continue his education by pursuing an MBA, and you can take 12 years if you want to, but knowing you, I think you'll be finished much sooner than that. His goal is to begin working in one of his father's many businesses. And Larry, thank you for being the entrepreneur that you are. You've made life in Odessa, the Permian Basin, and many other places so much better because of your work. Dustin, congratulations. Now, Brian mentioned Falcon Pride, the last couple of words that he said. I want to give you something additional to be proud about. You know, UTPB has about 6 or 7 programs that are nationally recognized. For example, our sociology program is recognized as 3rd in the nation in quality for online programs. Our communication program is recognized for its quality. Our criminal justice degree and engineering are also recognized. Our psychology degree and our counseling degrees are all recognized. And the university as a whole is recognized both for quality and for affordability. And perhaps the most important thing for you to be proud of, and you'll see why in a minute, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board ranks all 40 public universities in Texas according to the proportion of their graduates who get a job in their field within 1 year of graduation. UTPB sometimes is number 10, number 3, number 2, number 1, but it's always, always in the top 10. That is quite an achievement. So graduates, go show them how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our commencement ceremony. I ask all members of the audience, please remain seated during the recessional. Also outside in the lobby, you'll be able to find the photographer. We'll be happy to take any pictures that you desire. Congratulations again, graduates.